And welcome to another great episode of Framing New Heights. My name is Michael Hicks. I'm your host with the most, and super excited to chat with you on this Memorial Day weekend is when I'm recording this. If you are a official subscriber, you get my live notifications when I go live, and you can interact with me live as well. And I am going Facebook Live as well. So questions for any of you that are out there, drop them. I will check. I hope I can check. I haven't gone live on Facebook in a while. Before we get started, though, I want to give a few words from our sponsors. Can't sleep? Got the aches and pains? Well, guess what? You got to check out the CBD oil. It is Amish tested. It's got a proven formula. Takes care of aches and pains. Allows you to sleep better. All you do is it comes in this little bottle. Take some droplets, put it underneath your tongue, and you get some great magical sleep. Sleep is synonymous with a lot of my programming and really helps align who you want to become and allows you to live longer as well, which is really, really vital and really, really important. And if you want information on how to get this product, you can just go to EN Vitamins. That's envitamins.com. And you can use promo code New Heights. And guess what? You get 50% off the retail price of each item. So again, what is that website? envitamins.com, promo code New Heights, and you can go ahead and get 50% off. All right, let's jump in. I'm excited to talk today about today's podcast, and thank you to my viewers that are on my live stream on my YouTube, and thank you to my viewers that are on my live stream on my Facebook page. So today's topic, the episode title, turning moments into milestones, and what I call the Live to Thrive way. And I am the coach and founder of Live to Thrive. And today's podcast is really going to dive into kind of getting you back, shifting your mindset from where you were on those New Year's resolutions and really deepening your relationships. And again, walking boldly with purpose. That's truly what my Live to Thrive business offers. And my name is Michael Hicks. I'm a life coach and I guide you through your specific journey. And I've been doing my company now for about 2 years and been working with individuals and professionals for about 25 years. And today I'm going to break down something that we often overlook, right? And that's defining specific moments in our life, right? Being present where your feet are. Are you touching your phone more than you're touching your family member? Maybe your significant other, maybe your kids, like defining moments, like not the big moments that society tells us that are life-changing. However, the ones that we truly craft ourselves. And I'm going to go into detail on what I exactly mean with all of that today. So these moments, y'all, they're just not random moments. They're actually made. And let me explain what I mean here is when we know how to build those specific moments, they become the milestones that really shape who we are through how we love, how we lead, how we heal, and how specifically how we grow. So if you're catching this now and you are scrolling through social media and you jumped on here, grab your coffee, or for me, it's my energy drink. I'm tasting a new energy drink today. So it's those Mios, and this one had energy. So it's like strawberry passion fruit or something like that. So you just use it with water. So that's mine for today. So sit back, just some moments of stillness today, which I actually talk about often. How, let me get a drink first. How being still in specific moments is really crucial for our development and peace, for our innerness as well. This podcast today is really going to hit deep, y'all. And I want to jump in first by my first segment is really going to be titled, and if you've got some notes you want to take out, cool. It's the 4 building blocks of what I call of a specific moment. So the 4 building blocks of a moment. And the theme for this, as I was researching and putting together my notes, was elevation, insight, pride, and then that connection piece. And where the live to thrive piece comes into place is the alignment, right? So it's the mindset reset. That's a whole new different podcast. And if you want to chat a little bit more about that, just definitely DM me and I can help you with that. And then, but the mindset reset plus identifying mapping or identity mapping. All right. So there are 4 ingredients that really truly make this powerful, sustainable, accountable, and what it takes. It's going to allow you to elevate. It's going to allow you to spark particular insights. It's going to anchor your pride, which is a big thing. Men get their egos in the way. And it also is going to develop what I call deeper connection. So what if I told you that you could create all of these and not by chance, right? You're not just going to stumble in the middle of the night and just get these randomly by chance. However, you're going to get these with intention. All right. So there's a stat that I want to bring to the surface here right away. In 2020, there is a survey, I believe it was by Better Up Labs, and they found that employees who experienced meaningful, and I'm going to use my air quotes here, micro moments of connection, all right, reported 42% increase in job satisfaction. And being in the education sector for as long as I was, it's crazy how I have seen teachers bend over backwards, give up their own lives to satisfy the status quo, so to speak, right? And when these educators or teachers increased their micro moments, they reported, not just teachers, but just anybody in general that is working in maybe it's a cubicle job, maybe it's a sales gig, whatever it might be, they found that 42% increased in job satisfaction. And that a 33% of them felt a more increase with purpose, which is directly to what I talk about with my Liv2Thrive proven formula that I've been using to help my clients really develop that purpose. Here's the application piece that I want you to think about for a second. Think about back to a recent breakthrough where did it involve the feeling of awe, right? Like sometimes I'll just use an example of a puppy, right? People see a puppy and what's the first thing they always say? "Aw," right? It's like, "Aw," like that really. When was the last time you felt that moment? When was it? Can you go back and reflect on that? And like, not only the feeling of awe, the surge of clarity, right? Like that aha moment, like the light bulb just went on. And then not only that, the unexpected connection where all of a sudden you're just doing something randomly and all of a sudden you just get the answer. How many has that happened to you? Like, oh, that's what I got to do. So those, when you can think back to those are breakthroughs, y'all. And so which one really showed up for you? Which one was it? Which of the 4 elements showed up for you? Because when you can really understand that and define that, you will lean into those aha moments. And when you lean into those aha moments, that will create more of what I like to call elevation of sorts. All right. So which piggybacks greatly into my next segment, which is creating elevation. And the theme for this piece is kind of like rise above the everyday. My motto is always 1% better in mind, body, and soul every day. How can I be better than I was the day before? Like I hear often, oh man, that was just a rough day or it was a bad day. See, that's when we struggle and stumble on the fixed mindset piece. When you have to say it was a rough day, it was a tough day. Now we have tough moments and we all are going through something. We're weathering some kind of storm. We're going through something particularly that's really affecting us. And if we can really just harness our mindset to know that. And then when you have something particular that comes into play that maybe is really daunting or tough for that particular moment in your day. We have tough moments. We don't have tough days unless you allow it to happen, right? So then the next piece is the filling of the gratitude piece. You should not be in, and I know some of you are going to hate me when I say this to my listeners, but you should not be sulking and full of depression and anxiety. It should not happen. And the reason why it happens, yes, some people say there's a chemical imbalance, but there's two factors that also align with that is your diet and exercise. And then on how can you, on top of that, then retrain your mindset? Because it's the mind, right? Because then the mind, as soon as you begin this angst, this anxiety piece, it goes into overthinking train. And if you want information on an overthinking, I got a full PDF that I show and help my implement with my clients. I'll give it to you absolutely free. You just got to message me PDF and I'll give you the overthinking formula that I use that's proven that works. And so get rid of that piece. And when you can get rid of that piece, you can really hone in on rising above every single moment that's really tough, right? So it's the alignment of energy audit, which I've talked about in my previous reels and podcasts and things of that nature. Plus, it's the joy activation, right? So alignment equals energy audit plus joy activation. Michael, how do you get that? Well, hey, thanks for asking because I'd like to ask myself those particular questions. Well, I'm going to tell you how. Elevation, all right, is about breaking the standard, breaking the script, getting out of the normality of your particular life, right? Because when you can step into a moment that you feel different, when you feel heightened with emotions, and these are good emotions, instead of going the same way home, take a different way home. Michael, I just want to get home. I get it, but we got to break through the norm. And when you can do this, it's going to heighten emotions, build new environments, and then the element of surprise celebration. Because what does your body remember? It remembers those specific things, right? So that's why we've done this in recently. You should go out and surprise your significant other with a surprise date. Maybe it's a date night that you say, hey, I was actually speaking to one of my clients about this, and some of my clients that I work with, and I not to relinquish too much information, but some of the clients that I work with are struggling with relationship. They're struggling with mindset. They're struggling with discovery, purpose, career, family. They've been knocked down. They need a mentor or coach to kind of get them back on track. And one of the biggest things was I asked clients is, when was the last time you went on a date? And a lot of them are like, well, we don't date. Our date is hanging out together on the couch. That doesn't work. You expect, you have to put effort into anything you do, whether it's your job, whether it's the crypto market, whether it's the stock market, whether it's anything. And if you just lay stagnant in any type of relationship, do you think that relationship's going to grow? Why do you think divorce rates are so high? And I was part of that piece. I'm not saying that I'm not the perfect person here, but my point to this is do surprise date nights because they truly, truly matter. And that's why you might even be a CEO and you're listening to this podcast or a leader of some business organization. Like, surprisingly, take your team on a nature hike instead of another stupid Zoom call or meeting. The majority of the meetings that we have in our work environment are A, waste of time. B, people are significantly thinking about what I can do that is wasting my time. And C, it could be done in an email. And for those of you that are listening to this, Think about this for a second. Think about how it would shift the state of the well-being of your coworkers, right? So going back to the surprise aspect, surprise is eminent in our personal relationships, in our significant other relationships with our family, and even in the workplace. So those of you that are CEOs, individuals that hold meetings, do something, surprise them. Hey, our meeting today, we're going to meet at this place. Or you surprise them the day before. Don't need to come in. Do your meeting at home, whatever you need to do. If you need to come in, great. Surprise matters. Surprising matters in your relationship. I don't need to keep continuing that, but I want to give you a statistic here. Is neuroscience tells us that peak emotional moments are 12 times more likely to be remembered than just neutral ones. So I can guarantee you're going to know of a time when you had one of those peak moments. In fact, I want you to reflect on it for a second, because here's the application piece. Where can you create above the norm moments this next week that's coming up? Yes, most of us that are, and this podcast is streaming in 8 different countries, and thank you to my listeners for all of you. And I just want to take a moment right here real quick is please hit the subscribe button. And because if you hit the subscribe button, you get moments like this to be aware of when Michael Hicks is going live, and it just happens sometimes, and you get that bell that'll chime in and says Michael Hicks is live, and you can chime in and kind of have a conversation and dialogue with me, like how some of you are doing right now, and just jot them in the notes. So, but on the other side, share it, send it to 5 of your friends, because I truly believe that we're on a mission here, and I'm here to provide as much value as I can to really kind of get you out of that mundane life and that just normal thing, right? Where you want to scale, you want to be better than average, above the best, and be your best. So I want to go back to when we can create the above norm moments this next week. And I want you to think about a way that you can do it for your partner. I want you to think about the way you can do it for your kids. And I want you also to think about how you can do it for your career, your job, your 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it. And most importantly, I want you to create an above norm perspective for yourself and schedule one, and make it sensory, make it add laughter, add some type of movement, and maybe some of your favorite songs. You're going to find a music or a song that you truly, truly love and you truly, truly like. And the tool that you can embed to this piece, and you can title this if you were writing this in your calendar, but you can call it the weekly energy calendar, right? So to block one elevation moment every single 7 days, because it gives you a feeling of purpose with yourself, in alignment with your career, with your relationship, and with others. I hope that truly makes sense. And I want to go into my next segment here is, and again, thank you for those of you that are listening and out there. And I hope this is obviously being recorded Memorial Day weekend, but it will not officially launch onto Spotify and everything else until next week, Wednesday. And thank you for those of you that are catching me on the live stream as well. So the next piece that I want to really talk about here is the next segment is sparking insight, right? How do I do that, Michael? Well, I'm going to tell you, I got a few ways, because if you can shift your beliefs by experiencing new truths, that is so hard for 90% of you. I just shared something monumental to you right now. And why are you still in the bubble? Why are you still not shifting a different belief? Change is hard. It is so hard. It's hard in our society. It's hard, like, just from the United States perspective, when we got a different president, that was hard. Like, change is hard. So this segment is shift your beliefs by experiencing different and new truths. There's a lot of truths out there, but it requires you to find that specific truth, right? My truth comes from prayer, right? And how you can do this through the Live to Thrive formula is it's an alignment where you have truth triggers plus a thought catcher. And I'll explain. All right. So, and you don't have to tell, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't tell anyone that you need to change. You don't have to share that with anybody. That can be your own thing, because let the moment show them, right? And I just was talking to a client about this recently. When you begin to change, when you begin to value and see new insights, your friends, you start to, well, they're no longer friends, but you start to see who's on the journey with you or who's a true friend, right? So you lose some along the way. And when you begin to lose some of those friends, I want to tell you, you are on a growth journey for change that is embarking and allowing you to be the best version of yourself. Don't look back and say, what did I do wrong? Let the moment show them. Insight comes when reality hits, whether it's whether it's standing on a specific scale or hearing your child say, "Mom, Dad, you're always on the phone." You ever hear that? Or you're always on your phone. That's a hard one to swallow. And as a creator and my business as well, and now my daughter just recently she just started a YouTube page, so she has become a creator, and it's really kind of cool to see. And actually, one of her she's getting more views than me on some stuff, which I find comical. She's only been on it for 3 weeks here. She got like 1.3K views on a simple video. And those of you that are content creators out there, just post whatever you have. Just post. All right, back in alignment here. So, but what if your child says you're always on your phone? So, my point to all of that is we grow when we can no longer stay the same. Does that make sense? And maybe your friends are changing then, because when you are changing those friends, you're growing. You're not staying the same. And some people like to stay the same. Majority of people like to stay the same. Here's a crazy statistic. 68% of people who experience a spontaneous right? Moment. Like, remember that song? I think there was a song. Take on me, take on me. Take me on. No? Yes? Thumbs up if you have. Cool. All right. Well, the aha moment, right? Where it takes immediate action towards change, right? 68% of people who experience a spontaneous aha moment take immediate action towards change. Nothing's going to change unless you hire a coach to get you out of that rut. Nothing. Nothing's going to help you, whether that's in the fitness world, whether that's career, mindset, life coach, purpose, walk, whatever it might be. Nothing's going to change until you get that aha moment. And a lot of people, you can do it on your own, but most 99% of the people fail. 99%. So what I'm going to ask you this truth here. It's an application prompt. What truth have you been avoiding? What truth? I will tell you, for me, as a reborn again Christian, it's the tithing of 10% of what I make. That is so hard for me. I lied to myself. I made a goal for myself to tithe. I'm tithing in giving back time, but it also states that I'm supposed to give back 10% of my earnings. So I'm saying this through, not because I have all the answers that I can help change a lot of things, but everybody has their demons, right? Everybody has areas in their life that they are struggling with. And that's one of my points. So ask yourself, what truth have you been avoiding? And then you need to create a mere moment. And here's what I mean. You got to face it head on, see it eye to eye, and record your future self. I like to act as the person that I want to be 5 years from now. right? 5 years from now. And because you need to record a video, just do this because this is so monumental. Excuse me 1 second. Record a video of your future self and then if you need to ask yourself or your spouse one raw question and then really listen to that. Okay? Because what's one lie you've told yourself long enough? What's one lie you have? And that might even be a good journal piece for you. Because if you won't lie to your kids, but you lie to yourself. What about those New Year's resolutions? Michael, you're hitting me hard today. I am. But have those changed? What is one moment that you can do? And get your significant other, get your best friend, and do that mirror moment where you have to face it, right? And record a video of your future self to ask your spouse one raw question and then really listen. Really listen. I want to jump into my next segment here. And that's where we anchor pride, right? We get our ego. Ego gets in the way a lot for men. All right, because they're strong, right? There's a lot of women out there that are strong too. I see it and I witness it all the time. However, think about this for a second. Recognize achievement and resilience. You should be able to look back at your past for reflection. How much have you grown? What wins did you have along the way? The alignment piece here is weekly wins plus gratitude practice significantly will create momentum that will build the lasting change that you want. All right. This is huge in so many aspects here. I do this often and I get corrected on this often. How many of you just move too fast or maybe don't intentionally fully read the manual or fully read the email, right? How many of you just breeze through it and then it's done wrong and then you miss a deadline? Yes, that's one of my flaws too. And I often hear, slow down. Slow down. So this segment here for me is to tell you to slow down. And slow down because we end up moving so fast to own our own wins. Excuse me. Because our pride really isn't arrogance. It's evidence that has been keeping you in a specific stuck mode, right? It's evidence that you kept showing up. That's really what it is. Let me say that again because I didn't say that very well because I was thinking and reading my notes all at the same time. Pride isn't arrogance. It's evidence that you kept showing up. All right? Show up. Even when it sucks. Embrace the suck. Go through it like the buffalo in the storm. Don't be the cow that runs away from the storm and the storm lasts longer. Be the buffalo. Put the head down. The buffalo goes directly through the storm, head down, facing forward, knowing that I'm going to take the storm right away so it doesn't last as long. Be the buffalo. Because when we don't celebrate ourselves, guess what? We stop doing what we're doing. We stop the progress. We disconnect from our progression. I think about, when I say this, I think about a client of mine who said, I've lost 20 pounds, yet I still don't feel proud of myself. And it's not the weight issue. What it is, it's the recognition issue, right? Because we all need, we all want to see that end of the road journey, right? That end of the word. Everybody sees the after pictures. They never see the journey pictures. You have to celebrate the wins along the journey. Otherwise, the journey does not go well and you stop before you get to your last resort. So, and most of us do because we don't have a coach. Here's a crazy statistic. You guys ready for this statistic? Only 20% of adults say that they regularly celebrate their own achievements. And I think this was done by a Gallup poll in 2022. You know what that is? I'll tell you right now. Everybody's like, I need motivation to go to the gym. I need motivation to do this. I need motivation to do that. Nope, you don't. You don't. This is part of it. It's part of it. But guess what? You missed on an opportunity for motivation. You want motivation, but yet you're not recognizing the progress throughout the journey. If you lost 20 pounds and if you're on this fitness journey, that's a celebratory, like win. Choose winning. That's win. Excited. How are you celebrating? What are you doing? Here's the application piece. As you're continuing to go through this progress, this journey, and if you're doing it on yourself, great. All right. But I want you to think about what I call grit moments. You ever have like those grit moments from the past year where, man, you just barely, you were the buffalo, right? You just kept going. Think about top 5 grit moments. Reflect from those from your past 5 year and post one somewhere that's really visible. Maybe it's on your mirror. I have clients where they take dry erase markers, and they write it on their mirror. But post one somewhere. Maybe it's a sticky note. Maybe it's on your screensaver on your phone. Maybe it's on the back of your phone. And then when you have that, it's a visual representation of the growth that you've come from, right? And that's part of the journey. And here's a Liv2Thrive tool that I use with my clients is then text one of your 3 supporters that have been with you through this journey. And then share that moment that you were proud of, right? I've done this exercise a number of times with my clients, and I just did one recently with them. And then ask them when you're texting them to celebrate it with you. And you're going to be excited about that. You're going to be full of endorphins are going to be released. You're going to be pumped about it. You'll be really excited about it. So I hope that makes sense. My next segment here, which is critical for anything that you do, is fostering connection, right? Deep emotional bonds are critical when you're on any type of change momentum, change trajectory. And deep emotional bonds really make moments last. And let me explain here. So the alignment piece is like relationships framework plus purposeful conversations. Make them meaningful and purposeful conversations. A lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. I don't like to have surface level conversations because they're not purposeful conversations. I don't personally get to know who you are as a person, what triggers you, what really gets at you, what keeps that hamster wheel moving inside. Some people cannot handle purposeful conversations. They're the kind of people that say, "Well, how's the weather? Oh, did you watch the draft?" I don't care about any of that. That's good for like 30 seconds. I want to know about you. What's been your biggest highlight of the week? What book are you reading? Why are you reading that? What's been your really biggest struggle? Those are the kind of questions that I want to ask. I ask these questions often after I work out. And for those of you that are catching us in the Wisconsin area, one of the gyms I work out is Wisconsin Athletic Club. Great gym, great owner. I had the CFO on a podcast, Ches Misko. Shout out, he's an awesome dude. So anyway, I go in the sauna and the steam, and I go in the sauna. I love to have conversations, right? Sometimes I do not, but most of the time I do. And as I'm asking questions like that and getting to know people, some people just shut down. I'm good, man. I'm good. I got you. I got you. And then when they're good, I may even take a step further. I may ask, can I pray for you right now? And that they're either running away or they stop. And I do it with heart, with empathy, with love. And my purpose, for those of you that know my podcast and know who I am as a person, my purpose in life is to provide value for as many people as I encounter every single day. And it's also to create an awareness of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It's that simple for me. And I want you to remember this for a second. I don't remember specifically what I said in specific conversations, but just remember how someone made you feel. And if they shut you down and you get the opportunity at that particular time, maybe a lot of you are scared and will not do this, but I do, because I just tell you, I've been given so many blessings on this world, and for me not to continue those blessings for other people, that's selfish for me. Because connection isn't about quantity, y'all. It's not. It's about presence. It's about empathy, and it's about shared experiences. Those are all such beautiful things, and we can really transform so many things this way. You can transform your relationships, you can transform your marriage, you can transform your leadership, your friendships, just by creating moments of vulnerability that can articulate a shared meaning. Does that make sense? Because here's the other application or statistic, I should say here. Harvard did a study of adult development, and they did this study for like 85 years. And it shows that deep relationships are the number one predictor for long-term happiness. It's a proven statistic. It's a number one predictor of long-term happiness. Deep connections. We are social creatures. When that epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, really hit us, we lost a lot of people because we were not able, because we didn't have the intelligence to understand that deep relationships are the number one predictor for a lifelong term of happiness. Here's the application prompt that I want to give to you. As you're going about your day today, ask yourself maybe the question that goes beyond. Or you're running into someone, you're talking to someone, ask the question that goes beyond, how was your day? Maybe do something like, what's something that's really been on your heart lately that maybe you haven't said out loud? Man, that gets people to stop on their tracks and be like, wow, that's a deep question. I don't know the answer to that. Here's a Liv2Thrive tool that I use for some of my programming is do a 5-minute night check. All right. Here's how you can do this. I used to do this with my daughter, and man, now she just wants to go to bed. She's at the preteen years, and man, it's crazy how you just start to see things evolve and change, and it's insane. But the 5-minute check-in is where you share one emotion that you had during that day, one win, and one hope, maybe with a friend that you want to talk to, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your significant other, whatever it might be. So let me repeat it. So this is called the 5-minute check-in. And for those of you that are maybe struggling to connect with your significant other, maybe this is something that you start. Maybe start 2 times a week, then morph it the next week to 3, then 4, then 5. Then it's going to become a regular habit for you. But a 5-minute night check-in. So you share one emotion that you had today, one win that you had today, and one hope that you had today. And I'm telling you, this will help develop that deep, meaningful connection that I've been emphasizing through this whole podcast today. I'm going to close. Let me see if I got any questions in my chats. Michael, where do I sign up? How do I talk to you? Oh, great question. You can simply go to my bio page on my Instagram. You can email me at michael@liv2thrive.com. That's LIV2thrive.com. And then I can really help you. I don't know if I have any room right now. I got to see if it's a good fit first. So what I generally do is I will send you out a questionnaire. You fill out the questionnaire. I read the questionnaire, see if it's a good fit. And then if it's a good fit, I'll get you on a free journey call and show you how I can help you provide those solutions that you need to become your best self. I hope that makes sense. Sean 231. I got you. Yep, I got you. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in. Any other questions? Let me see. No. Okay. All right. So, thank you for teaching me how to gain momentum, Michael. Your podcasts have been awesome. Appreciate the love. Thank you, guys. Share with 5 of your friends. All right, I'm going to close today. Thank you so much, and this will go live. If you're a member, you're catching it here. If you're on Facebook Live, you're going to catch it now for, I think, until I get off, or for 30 days. Don't know. So my closing is, I want you to really craft your moment map, what I called it. A moment map. You guys know what I mean by that. What's a moment map, Michael? Well, thank you for asking. I'm going to really tell you what a moment map is. So, intentional living through meaningful moments. Okay. Purposeful. So the Live to Thrive formula that I have is purposeful framework plus legacy rebuilding. Okay. We often wait for life to hand us the big moments, right? Like, you can use examples like weddings, promotions, a breakthrough, right? And however, the most powerful moments are not received, y'all. They're created. For example, my business, my Live to Thrive business, was created because I hired a coach. I didn't know how to get there, how to do it, what direction, etc. And it created it. And that was my biggest, most powerful moment. Besides, obviously, my daughter, which as we know, we have to create to get a kid. So I digress. However, I want to say this. If you want a better story, you don't need a new plot twist. You just need a better environment, a better scene. Does that make sense? Because when you get a better scene, you can change so much in 1 year. I can do it for you in 90 or 120 days. That's my elevation program. I have longer programs as well. But I want you to think about this as I'm exiting today is I want you to choose one of the 4 elements that you can really embark on, whether that's elevation, whether that's insight, whether that's pride, or whether that's connection. And then what I want you to do is build one moment around that this particular next week. And you have to be bold, you have to be creative, and most importantly, you got to be where your feet are, which I mean you got to be present, right? Because I want you to remember, as I'm concluding on this podcast today, is you're not just living time, you're building an actual legacy, y'all. And it's one meaningful moment at a time. Stop saying you got bad days. You don't have bad days. You've been blessed to wake up today to make a change in your life and in someone else's life. I don't know how to do that, Michael. I just gave you my information. I can help you. Well, I appreciate today for those of you that listened, and we'll catch this later on when it drops next week, Wednesday. And if today's episode truly sparks something in you, please share it with someone, like it, text the link, and bring them into this moment of momentum. Because change can happen, and it can change one happen at a time. And if you subscribe, you can review and keep climbing with me, because together we don't just rise, we frame for new heights. Until next time, y'all, my name is Michael Hicks. I'm your host with the most, always 1% better in mind, body, and soul. Stay flexed.